I fell in love with the game of football since I was 6 years old. And I get emotional talking about it because of situations like this. My civil rights were taken, were kind of messed with in high school over the color of my skin. And now being able to play 14 years in the National Football League, to have something like this of a leader. We talk about leadership. We give guys these big contracts because they want to be able to lead 70 men, coaches, equipment staff, and managers to the number one goal, and that's to win a championship. And for us to be moving back and not forward in 21st century, like I said, man, National Football League, this hurts me. The clock is ticking, man. I'm sorry.
No need to apologize for that. Reggie Wilson is here, our new sports director. Reggie, you and I were talking about this last night as friends about what to make of what Jon Gruden said in those emails. Homophobic, racist, misogynistic, the list goes on.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was watching that live when Randy Moss did that. It was jarring. I was like, wow, you know, because Randy's such this big personality. Yeah. And all of a sudden he's brought to tears. That's like, whoa, like that's Randy, you know. So this was a huge issue. And this was a huge issue before we found out about all the other stuff he said in those emails. I mean, look, it brought Randy to tears. Yeah. But it wasn't until the emails came out and it's like, oh, he was not only just being racist, he was being homophobic and all these other things. It's just all kinds of hate speech. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, now he has to go. And it's like, hate speech is hate speech regardless of what's said, when it's said. So when it's said, first and foremost, I was upset with on Sunday Night Football how they were like, oh, just he apologized and let's move on. You know, players are forgiving. It's like, okay, yeah, we do need to accept people's apologies and all that stuff, but we also need to hold people accountable for their actions. And what that was in that moment before these emails leaked was not accountability.
Right, he said, I'm sorry if I hurt anyone, and then went on to say there's not a racist bone in my body. He wanted to put it away after that. And again, we have to have these conversations. What did you hear when in that apology and then saying, there's no racist bones in my body?
So I tweeted it out last night. When you say, I don't have a racist bone in my body, and then these emails come out and we find out that he said some racist things, it's like, oh, shoot, like, he actually believed that. You know, the comment came out, you know, after he was, well, he wasn't let go. He was allowed to resign, which is a whole other story. But he apologizes and he says, I never meant to hurt anyone. Okay. That's probably right. You know, you and I were talking earlier. Yeah, he probably didn't mean to hurt anyone. He probably doesn't feel like he's racist because these things weren't going to ever be uncovered in his mind. Right. I mean, who sends these emails to discuss these things anyway? It's just gross.
Right, and as you and I talked real quickly, this really doesn't end with Jon Gruden resigning. Sure, lots of things are happening to him today, but who got those emails? Who read those emails and didn't say anything? Is this a bigger problem in the NFL? And I think the NFL is going to have to answer those questions, don't you think? Yeah,
and they came out earlier today saying that there was nothing in those emails to, you know, leak out or to share, so they won't be sharing the 650,000 emails from Washington's football team. And it's like, oh, okay. Out of all those emails, nothing else was in there that was problematic? Or are you once again trying to put a Band-Aid on this situation? Instead of just ripping it all the way off, let's talk about these things. Let's get into it. I mean, we had a whole quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, who wasn't allowed to play anymore. Now we kind of see like what the mentality is of these people in these NFL circles and why that happened.
All right. Well, I look forward to having that conversation with you again, Reggie. Thanks for being on Breaking the News tonight.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thanks for having me.